So I don't know how to title this video, so whenever I do it. But as you can see, I got this Cthulhu T-shirt, and we're actually going to talk about some stuff about that. In a spiritual enlightenment way, at least from what the knowledge, from what I found out, and everything like that. Um. So this whole thing about okay, first of all, I recently got this, and I haven't read all of it yet, obviously, but I'm on Dagon, and I haven't read like the whole part of it because I went to bed because I was tired that time. I just wanted to read a little bit of it before I went to bed. But and there's a map here of literally Arkham, Massachusetts and shit. So a lot of people think that this is fiction. A lot of people think that this is just fiction. People that have watched my channel have always want to know my thoughts on certain things. And this one, from what I've researched and from what I've known, first of all, let's talk about H.P. Lovecraft, to be honest. This is what I found out from H.P. Lovecraft. That his grandfather, from when I was searching it up, was a Freemason that he founded, right? He founded the Freemasons. Oh, he was one of the founders, not the founder, but one of probably. But he was a Freemason. But there was no, I haven't, like, it hasn't been said that if his father was one or H.P. Lovecraft was one. So, there was that. And, and the thing is, when you find stuff like this, and a lot of people were like, oh my god, that's all this and that. I'm like, why are you so scared of it? Why will you not know that's what it is it's supposed to be? Plus, they even mentioned Stephen King anyways. It was just kind of funny. But one of the Necronomicons apparently like, I think this is not the one, but to be honest, the deities that you see here, the beings now that are in these books, are real. They're real. Where are they? In the astral realm. Just walking, just flying, just going past. Okay? Sometimes that's where you get your nightmares. Usually, sometimes it's. I'm not saying it's not that meat stuff. It is that stuff. But when you have when you have nightmares in a way, why you're not eating all that meat? It's like maybe there's something else. Maybe there is too. You don't know. But the fact that you got to think about horror runs deep in cultures, but it's not horror. It's cosmic things that are in the galaxy. That's one of the reasons why it's called cosmic horror to begin with. They say these things because they know what the fuck it is. They telling you guys. They're telling you it's cosmic horror. When people are saying that it's cosmic horror, they're telling you it. And I'm just like, no one is not like paying attention because no one doesn't want to pay attention to shit. They just want to fucking be like, oh, okay, and move on with their day, thinking that nothing's gonna fucking goddamn change and shit. And then when you want to find out some shit about what these beings are, people fucking want to get freaked out. But that's the thing. H.P. Lovecraft, I've even heard that H.P. Lovecraft kind of went like insane and shit because of all the shit that he found. From what I've heard. But even when you read these books, and they say that, oh, these beings will make you insane and everything like that when you see them, um, this is not a racist thing or anything like that. Because if you guys want to know my more high knowledge and what I see in another point of view, literally, guys, I recently just saw a video that this Caucasian dude, this orc, basically had a Necronomicon. Not, I don't. It wasn't this one. It was a version that has like the symbol on it of of the symbol. I want to say it's probably the symbol of Cthulhu, but I don't think it is. I drew the pic. I drew it earlier. I did drew it. Here it is. I'll show you. It's this one that I'm talking about. This symbol. Like it has this symbol and then it says Necronomicon on top of it. You know? That symbol. So some people are afraid of at least some of the Caucasians, I get it. They are afraid of this book. Why they are afraid of this book? The thing is, if they're so afraid of this book, think about this one thing. Think about this one logical thing. If they're so afraid of it, why the fuck would they sell it? Oh, these wicked beings are crazy though. I'm like, you talking about the same wicked beings that are scared. So who's supposed to be scared of this shit? The wicked ones, because the wicked ones know what's in the astral realm. Because they guys, do you see the wicked beings floating around you? Do you see other beings walking around you? At least right now, it's happening. It is happening. It is. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying like, oh, you know. No, seriously, it's happening now. I don't know what if anyone's not trying to, deny it. Shit is happening. But for crying out loud, guys, like, I think I didn't even went straight. I didn't even like blat out and straight through it. I just like walked through it, freaking tiptoeing it. I guess I gotta say it. Most people might say that's rude, but it's not. If Caucasian people freak out of when they get this book and real shit is happening to them, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? And I've nothing. What? Ever since I drew that painting, that painting right there of Cthulhu, shit has been fine for me. I don't worship the dude. I worship myself. Alright? You see that? You see that? That's me in the astral realm. Alright? I praise myself. That is me. Alright? In a way, that's Cosmic Horror too. Look at that shit. That's a freaking SQALKlown, basically. That's literally. Some people might be like, oh, that's a demon. And I made fun of that before. If anyone have watched my channel before. I've said that before. I'm like, oh, these beings, if normal people actually saw me that didn't know all of this shit that was going on in real life, if these normies, basically, these muggles saw me, they would have freaked the fuck out and be like, oh, demon, Diablo. Not knowing what the fuck they're talking about. And there's a reason. It's funny. All of this all started because I watched a show, Lovecraft Country. It just looked interesting to me, and all of a sudden it just automatically just clicked that it just brought me in. Why? It's because my ancestors. It was just around that time, basically. I guess it was always in the background, but then it's like, no, you will. You come to it eventually. And the best thing about these is that you don't have to read all through it because these are just all stories. Short stories. And there's a lot of them. And it's complete, basically. And I like how they call it weird because it's like, oh, that's the one thing they would call it passable. Because they won't say it's the truth or anything like that, but they sell it and it's fiction. And in a way, it's kind of like science fiction too if you're talking about cosmic beings. You know? Cosmic horror. Hello? You know? And to be honest, the Necronomicon has inspired a lot of people. And from what I've heard, also, I don't know if this is 100% true. If you want to correct me on this, that's fine. From what I've heard, there's other names that go to the Necronomicon. There's other names, and the two names that I found out is the Book of the Dead. Sink that in. Sink that in. I want you to sink that in. The Necronomicon is called the Book of the Dead, and these wicked beings are afraid of it, and you know, these beings are afraid of it. Let me show you something. The reason they call it the Book of the Dead is because it's in the astral realm. Death is an illusion, remember that. Okay? So death is an illusion, and your energy can't be destroyed, only transfer, right? So where do you go? You go to the realm of the dead. That's what they call it. They have to call it something, because you're not. To be honest, guys, that realm is so better than here. Basically, it is. It is. I'm not saying go ahead kill yourself. No, 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 no. That's another thing that you shouldn't. You shouldn't just go off yourself. You should enjoy your avatar body. That's one of the reasons why we made what we made. That's why Cosmic Mother. That's why the planet made us the way she made us. Because we wanted to experience what we wanted to experience. That was it. You know? And we took care of ourselves, and we loved each other and shit like that. We took care of our avatar bodies. And the people that are watching this video, you know this because it's inside your subconscious. Right? It doesn't matter if you watch my videos all because you watch my other SkullKlown videos or something like that. It doesn't matter. If you're watching this video, it's because you have went through a path that your subconscious wants you to go through. In my opinion. In my opinion. And right here I have the Book of the Dead. The Egyptian Book of the Dead. I haven't read tons of it yet, but just having these two books, and then it's basically like, oh, I have two books of the dead here. I'm like, huh. Okay. And they're both different. Yeah, they're both different. Or they're both the same. Yeah, I like to have fun, to be honest. That's just me. But that's the most important thing, though. The most important thing is to research, find stuff that connects and shit like that. I think this video looks like it was like getting glitchy. I wonder why. It looked like it was getting glitchy, at least from what I was seeing. But the second chapter right here is called Dagon. Oh wait, is it the second chapter? No, it's it's the second chapter. The second story, Dagon. The thing is, once you hear the whole Dagon shit, well, that name alone should just tell you a lot. They have a creature called Dagon, and the thing is too, they have a Godzilla comic book that they literally call Godzilla Dagon, like one of his ancestors is literally Dagon. Sink that in. No, sink that in. Okay? Because it's one of the things that I think people need to think about, but that's just me. That's just me, man. That's just me. Oh yeah, the other name that people call this, some people do, is called higher self. This is from what I've heard. If you want to disagree with me, that is fine. This is from what I researched. This is from what I've just been researching. And does it resonate with me from what I'm seeing and everything like that? It's called the Book of the Dead, for crying out loud. You know? And these terrifying beings, like, I never went straight forward to what I was trying to say with the orc thing of of being terrified. It's basically like, hey, if you're a Caucasian, you're gonna get terrified of this if you actually see them in real life. You will actually be insane. But if you are carbon, you're not. That's what I noticed. Because, again, going back to that YouTube video thing. Sorry I'm jumping here and all that shit. I'm sorry. But that video, some orc was just like, oh, you know, ever since I got that book, some weird shit was happening to me and everything like that. And I'm over here in the background, I'm like, yeah, because it's not for you. Dude, you touched something that's not yours. What the fuck's wrong with you? It doesn't belong to you. The universe is literally telling you, what are you touching? It's not yours. Either that, it's something, man. It's something. Because that shit hasn't done nothing. I've just been getting positive stuff, to be honest. There's been platforms, but there's always going to be platforms. You know? You know? There's always, most people are like, but the stepping stones. There's always going to be stepping stones. Good Lord, people. It's life. You know? What's the point of fucking, like, going all through it without fucking obstacles, man? I mean, that's the reason why we put obstacles on ourselves to begin with. That's why we came here. Some beings don't want to come here because they would have lost everything. Their power, their abilities, their memories. And the fact that we're here, everyone's just like, they have the balls to come here. To just be like, yeah, because it's our planet. That's why. And people want to help it. And people want it to get, like, want to get these wicked ones out of Dodge quickly as possible. Basically. You know? And the thing is, there's a Nike commercial that shows a tentacle type of figure coming out of the ground, grabbing a building. Yeah, remember, they're telling you this shit, right? They're telling you this shit. These beings that are in this book are coming in. They're coming. They're all coming. They're all coming. Whether you like it or not, you evil orcs. You evil motherfuckers. They're coming. They're coming, and they are pissed. Okay? Because that's the thing. There's people here that have higher selves that are like these. I'm not shitting with you. That's why we look different. That's why they call it hell. That's why they made the Bible. And you know what's funny too? This is, look at it. It's even like, it has that texture of a Bible. Even if you know what a Bible has a texture with. When I saw this, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, they're fucking like, in a way, telling you this shit. I'm like, guys, like, hello. You want to know the cosmos? Hello. And H.P. Lovecraft, he probably went insane seeing some of these shit. And reading some of these two, like the first two, like the very first pages literally takes place in Massachusetts. You can literally see that right now, just because of the way it looks. That's just me, man, because I live in Massachusetts, and this is just the way it looks. You know? It's not like I haven't seen these beings before. They look familiar. That's the thing. They do look familiar. And it's funny, too. Isn't this usually the representation of all, like, oh, what the devil's supposed to look like? That's, like, the first fucking page right there, and people are going to be like, oi! At one point, I want to have, like, a nice house, a big house, and have, like, gargoyles on it. And people are like, oh my, my mom was like, oh my god. But that's the thing. These are beings. You guys got to remember, those monsters. You don't think there's monsters around here? There's monsters. And I'm not talking about these wicked beings. Those are the true monsters, to be quite honest. Because these monsters, when you hear about them, you don't hear about them fucking what? Doing adrenochrome type shit? At least from what I'm fucking finding. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's fine. Go ahead. That's fine. I'm learning this. I'm just learning this shit. You can help me. You know? So let me do this shit. I'm just learning. You know? But this is something that's actually really important, especially if you live in Massachusetts, in my opinion. Because this is part of Massachusetts actually history. And the fact that I want to tell you this right now. H.P. Lovecraft, either he probably, I don't know if he saw all these beings here and wrote them in the book, or he went all over the world and wrote and just, or again, went to sleep and took a lot of fucking whatever he had to take. You know? And then it goes back to Stephen King, because Stephen King's mentioned in the back of this book that he probably obviously saw shit too. But how come he's not insane? How do we not know? How do we not know he's not already insane? You know? And doesn't usually Stephen King play a crazy character when he is in his movies? Usually, isn't that usually happening? I mean, usually happens. I don't know. I haven't watched Stephen King movies in a long time, so I'm not. I can't say I know 100%. You know, so that's it's funny being a person that's a gamer and a movie buff at the same time. This actually kind of helps with this whole like spiritual journey and learning thyself. And by the way, since I just talked about this, I did something in Astro Realm that a lot of wicked beings are not gonna like. So that's. I just need to say, oh well, I meditated twice already. Just need to meditate one more time. Meditate 3 times a day, people. Either 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It depends on you. It just whatever you feel comfortable with. To be quite honest, literally, whatever you feel comfortable with, do it. You know. So, oh, it's getting a kick into my neck because I'm looking down here. But maybe I could turn this down. That way I can actually look at it and not like. So. Okay. Another thing about these beings, something that I researched more, since they're real, obviously. The one thing that you guys need to know, you can correct me if you find information that you found wrong, but this is again in a higher realm of what I'm, at least not higher realm, just what I found basically, what I researched and everything like that. And if I have to research more, then I research more. That's fine. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm here to learn anyways. You know, that's the best thing. So, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking here. These beings are the ancient ones. Okay? Meaning, they were the first beings here. I mean, we were already here. We'll always be here. We've always been here. But the beings that came here first even though we've always been here. It's a weird process. It's a weird type of mind thinking, because when you tell certain people, even some of our brothers and sisters, they don't want to get it. They don't care to get it because they'll be like, "How is this possible in this?" And even these orcs, these wicked beings, like some of these fucking insectoids and shit and Dracos, they like the Dracos probably understand. Basically, probably they most likely do. They just want to be ignorant or something like that. But when it comes to these orcs, they don't. They don't want to like. Have you seen the scene of the Avatar movie where one of the two main characters are literally telling one of the people that want to like blow up the trees, like, dude, you don't blow up the trees because they are connected to the planet and they talk to the planet and it helps with the planet, basically, like that. It's like an internet, basically, you know. And the one and then the character that wants to blow up the fucking trees is just like, dude, wow, guys, what are you smoking down there and shit like that? I'm just like, are you serious? Are you serious right now? Even if we were smoking, that's what you think? How about you try this? Oh no, I'm not like that, man. Yeah, of course, because you don't want to try shit. Who put that shit in your mind? Oh wait, maybe you did. It's a thing that people do sometimes, you know. And it's also too how they mommy and daddy grew them up. You know, I can imagine if they were holding this book when they were kids, their father or mother would have grabbed it and be like, "Oh, goodness, it's the devil." And you know what? To be quite honest, it's not for you anyways, darling. It's literally for Hispanic people and black people. Because we belong in this cosmos. These are the beings before the Titans. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I found out. These are the beings before the Titans. And we are the gods. There's a timeline, a Cthulhu, of the, I think, Cthulhu myth or some shit that I have. I made a playlist of it, but you can't find it because it's locked. I made it locked for a reason, for me to see it. But I might show it off. I might just show it off. But the fact that if I show you that timeline, you're gonna be in shock, because that's almost by the middle of it or almost by the end, you're gonna be like, this shit's real. And I'm like, yes, it is. It's real. Flat out, they just told you it right there, and people think it's fucking fiction right here. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Are people that stupid? You know? That's what pisses me off about the masses. You could talk all this knowledge, you could talk all about this wisdom, but it takes one fucking idiot to say something, and then everyone just listens to that fucking idiot, that village idiot that does, I don't know, deserves to do whatever. Hey, as long as he's not hurting anybody, I guess, right? It's just the village idiot that everyone wants to fucking kick to the fucking curb. I guess that's the village idiot. You know? I don't know, guys. That's just me. That's just me. And I drew like a little picture there too. Literally. Giving candy to Cthulhu and shit. And that's my plush with my umbrella knife and shit. But I'm just looking at, like, some of the art style looks great. Even Cthulhu looks pretty good here with the design. And we got here, let me show you the Dogon actually. So right now, from what I found out, it's the book is called Higher Self and the Book of the Dead. And these beings came before the Titans. Everyone always wants to talk about the Titans, but who were the beings before the Titans? And sometimes they were stories about that, and sometimes we got a little bit of it. But we don't know the cosmic ones. We know the land ones, but the cosmic ones. But to be honest, were the land ones the cosmic ones to begin with anyways? They always talk about the heavens, right? The heavens are the cosmos. That's what it is. And people will be like, oh no, heaven is just a place when you go when you die if you're good. I'm like, that's the astral realm. And it's not a place where you go when you're good. It's a place when you go when your physical avatar is gone, like dead. In this realm. Where they put a dome basically on it. We live in Atlantis. That's why you can't, that's why they don't have a plane to go to Antarctica. And they don't want you to leave outside of those ice capsules basically. But those ice capsules are basically like melted and gone at this point. At this point. I don't know. Sorry guys. They are literally telling you the world is about to flip. They're literally telling you the planet is about to flip, and people think this is a joke. And I'm just like, are you stupid? Even when you're told right in your fucking face, you want to laugh at it. Then when it fucking happens, you're like, oh, I'm sorry. You want to pray. Pray to what? Pray to what? Why would you? It's funny too. Why would you pray all this time when you think it's fucking goddamn funny to begin with? Motherfucker, if that shit was true, the whole praying shit, if the whole thing of one of Jesus and shit and all that shit was true, if I was Jesus, I wouldn't listen to your prayer. I wouldn't. I'd be like, you're a selfish prick. Fuck you, dude. You deserve to die. Hell no, you don't deserve to die. Because death is better than that. You know what you deserve to? To live through all this shit. To live all through that tragedy so you can go through that trauma. There, that's even worse. Trauma. That's trauma. Trauma is worse. Trauma passes down to generation to generation to generation. People, you don't know that. Did you know that? Another, what is it? And I said this once and I'll say it again. An actor that was one of the main villains in Black Lightning, he did an interview literally saying that the mom cow hit the fence and she got electrocuted and she never touched the fence again. She had babies, the cows never touched the fence. Her babies never touched the fence. That's trauma passed down to her kids. Okay? That's why people say be careful who you sharing your sexual energy with. Oh, be careful who you have kids with. Because your kids might just come out wired because either your baby daddy or your baby mama is just a fucking, mostly your baby mama if you're a guy. Because look, it might sound sexist or bad, but it does really matter about the woman's mind. It really does. It like the man can act fucking goddamn stupid, but if the woman's right in the mind, that baby's gonna come out fine. Because that baby's not gonna well up and fucking scream and shit like that. And disrespect. Most people be like, "What? Why is my child doing this?" I'm like, because of all of these. And you think that it's just all in my fucking head. No, it isn't. It's fucking fact. And the fact that some people can't take this information because, what's I've done my research and I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. But when you understand trauma, when you understand and understand trauma, that is where you be like, okay then. But if you don't have that aspect of knowing what trauma is, then you just like, okay, what is trauma? And hey, unless you're asking the question of it, then eventually it will come to you. You know? But trauma is a serious thing. It's been happening to our people. Someone's going to be like, what do you mean our people? I'm like, what do you mean your people? Do I need to spike up my hair to show you how much of a freaking big hair I had yesterday? I had a massive afro hair yesterday because for Halloween and stuff. To be honest, Halloween is not over. Halloween has never been over. I mean, even after the Halloween season, it's never over. Alright? There's just a whole thing in me. And since we talk about cosmic horror, why not me talk about that horror stuff a little bit? But I'm not. I'm just like saying that a little bit what I just said, just like talking about it, but not like really talking about it. The little thing I just mentioned, it's just a little thing that I mentioned, but it's not like a big thing. I'm gonna like talk about horror here all day. No, I'm not. But this cosmic horror stuff right here, guys, like these beings have been around forever. Okay? We've been around forever too. It's that there's a reason why they have holidays like Halloween. Not because yes, these wicked beings do stuff and they do things all these days. It's a pagan day and shit like that. I know that shit. I'm not stupid. I know every holiday is a pagan day. But there was an origin, there was a time and a place where some of these holidays were not, they were just days that we actually cherished and celebrated. Like, right, like what Mexico does, celebrating the Day of the Dead. That is what we did. We paid respects of the dead. We paid respects to our ancestors. And these are ancestors. These are ancestors. The second story is called Dagon. Don't fuck with me. To be quite honest. At that point. Because I'm like, at that point, you might disagree with me with some points, but at that point, you can't disagree with me with that one. At least with that one. Everything else after that, maybe. You know? At least, come on, at least with that one. Because that's just right in front of your face. Right? So, to be honest, let's watch the timeline, to be quite honest. Yeah, since I'm here and everything like that. And I probably should show you this orc, like, just like, oh, this orc literally had to put it in his freaking garage because he was that scared of it. He was that scared of it. I'm just looking at it, and I'm just like, you were that scared of it. Then, oh, I sent to the area and shit. I'm just like, damn, man. Damn. They went at you hard. They went at you hard. Because it's not for you. It's not for you. It was never meant to be for you. And the thing is, people say, oh, this is for the occult and shit like that. When these beings literally, if you, in my opinion, if you use blood, of course they're going to act like the way they act. Like kill-wise, basically. But we used crystals. Stupid concept. You know, it's funny too because they kind of showed that it's not crystal wise, but they kind of showed that in the What If series, like in the first episode when Captain Carter, the sexy, literally is fighting tentacle hante, playing fucking tentacles. And you'd be like, oh, that's Cthulhu type shit, you know. I'm not saying they use crystals and all that shit, but that's a good example. And didn't he have to use the Infinity Stone or some shit like that? I need to watch that shit again because I was just gushing on Captain Carter. I'm sorry, but sorry, that's just the nerd in me. We all nerds at the end of the day. But this stuff right here. Okay, this is funny. When I got this book, and I was just scrolling back past. They have a picture of H.P. Lovecraft literally looking like George Washington. I want to like tear up and cry because I think that's fucking hilarious. I'm dead serious. I want to cry right now because that's just gold. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Oh man, I had to wipe those tears because I'm like, they're not tears of joy or anything like that. They're just tears of laughter. Like, look at this. When I saw this, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What are they trying to pull off here? I'm just gonna let that let that simmer. Let that there. I'm not gonna touch upon it, but I'm gonna let that there. That's really it. That's really it, guys. Um, before I continue on, there is another book I desperately, desperately, and I mean desperately want to get. Maybe not that desperate, but I would like to at least have it in my book collection. And that is, if I can find it, here it is. The Outsiders and the Others. This is what the cover looks like. I saw it in the show in Lovecraft Country, and ever since I saw that cover, this literally it led me to like finding these books and shit like that, and I wanted to get the Necronomicon, and the fact that this book mentions this book, I'm just like, yes, I would like to have this book, and I love the cover for it. It just speaks to me. The cover speaks to me so fucking much. Look up the cover, guys, and see it, because if it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine, but it resonates with me a lot. It's just some of the stuff that I know I've seen, and the fact the book is basically it hasn't been published since the 1940s, I believe. It says it here. Sorry, guys. Sorry, but uh, it's just talking about it, but I can't find it right now. But it went out and published somewhere, but that's sad because I'm trying to find it and it is expensive, especially on eBay. You want like at least seven plus $1,000 for it, and I'm like, I don't got that money, or do I? I have my ways, and you know what? If I see that book in a library, I'm gonna ask them how much do you want for it. I would definitely serious would be like, how much do you want for it? I don't give a fuck if it's $1,000. Give me a week, I will get it. I'm dead serious. I'm not playing with you. I want to get that book. Like I'm like crawling to get that book, but I'm not gonna sacrifice myself for it. Fuck no. Fuck that shit. You know, focus on me. Love me. All right. So here's the picture of the Dagon right here. That's what our ancestors, man. Right? That's our ancestors. That's our family members, to be honest. Some of them might be like, oh, but some of them bad, or I mean, some of them bad or some shit. You said some of them, right? But well, those are our ancestors, anyways. For crying out loud. Look at Set. Just because Set killed his brother doesn't mean he's not a brother. Still not our brother. Look at Zeus. Just because he did what he did doesn't mean he's not a brother. And don't worry, we'll kick his ass soon. We will. He knows we're gonna kick his ass. That terrible, terrible man. Like, what do I have to say about Zeus, to be quite honest, man? Like, I mean, I could laugh the fact that he failed, to be quite honest, but I remember looking, I was at the library, and there was like a few card decks, and they had like pictures of people there, and they had like pictures of a serpent there, like some animals there. And then on the back of it, it has a picture of Zeus with a lightning bolt on it. I'm like, of course, of course. Why wouldn't you have a picture of Zeus there? You have to tell people that, hey, who runs the show here? Have you noticed that? They always have the picture of, they always like to depict Zeus, sometimes in video games and books and all that, when they want to have like a main villain or a main protagonist or like some probably main hero or something like that he meets along the way or some shit. So what's your Hercules? If you know that reference, you deserve a cookie. You really deserve a fucking cookie, man. We could be friends, to be quite honest. We could be friends. I'm trying to find the Cthulhu thing because when I saw him, I was like, whoa. Because okay, it has a page 2 something. There it is. What's this one? Oh, okay. Look at this bad boy. Look at him. Look at this guy. He's huge. But I'm bigger. Literally. Like, I am just massive. Let's just say, compared to him, if I was right next to him, he literally be, guys, I can carry him like a book. That's how big I am. I'm not playing with you. Why do you think these evil beings are scared of me or terrified of me? Why do you think in that one video it says SqaWn must be stopped? If I can carry if I can carry the ancestors like a baby, that's not by accident. It's not like I did that on purpose. There's even a chapter here that they talk about Egypt, the Egypt pyramids. I haven't seen that, but that's curious. I want to fast forward to that and probably see it, but to be honest, I want to look at other stuff. But I'm sorry, I'm taking you guys' time here. You guys probably want to be like, just continue off the shit. So I was gonna show you that ARC video, but to be quite honest, you probably can find it yourself. But here's a timeline of it. Oh, Eternals. That's something I do want to talk about. But eventually when it happens, when I do see it. They even show like a Babylon place. Or was that Mesopotamia? Alright, look at this, guys.
The Cthulhu mythos is a combination of many books written by many different authors aside from the great H.P. Lovecraft himself. As by his wishes, he left the Cthulhu universe as an open book for competent writers to fill in the gaps and expand the franchise. This timeline is based on canonical books, like the timeline of the Cthulhu mythos, The Challenge from Beyond by Moore, Where Yidra Walks by DeBille, just to name a few. In this video, we shall only showcase the most important events in the timeline especially the ones that date back millions or billions of years ago, and the ones which are proposed to extend millions or billions of years in the future. Modern human interactions or birth dates are omitted as it will just be too confusing, taking into account the variety of books and works by many authors. So here goes the timeline. 13.8 billion years ago, the universe is created in the Big Bang. Since it is said that we lived in the dreams of the outer god Azathoth,
Big Bang.
Therefore it is also the time when the idiot god himself went into his deep eternal slumber. 4.5 billion years ago, the planet Earth is formed around a star called Sol, and this is the third rocky planet around the Sun. 4 billion years ago, Yidra is an outer god who is worshipped as a beautiful, awesome and terrible Earth Mother, and she comes into being at the same time the first signs of life on Earth arises. 3 billion years ago, the Yakubians, which are a race of worm creatures whom invade worlds and exchange their minds with native life forms, sends one of their mind transformation cubes to the Milky Way galaxy. 2 billion years ago, originally from a dimension very different from our own, Sqawn, or the horror elephant god, travels to Earth and creates a race of humanoid beings. 1 billion years
Something to
ago,
think about, guys.
the Elder Things arrive on Earth.
Remember,
they land in the
DC.
Antarctic Ocean and found their first cities there. The Elder Things create the Proto-Shoggoth, a protoplasm being that in turn produces other creatures that acts as servitors and food for the Elder Things. 900 to 800 million years ago, by this time the Elder Things cities have spread all across the oceans of Earth and have even adapted to living on land, but most of them remain in the oceans, however. 750 million years ago, the flying polyps arrive on Earth and build their basal towers on the land. They then try to expand into the oceans, therefore sparking a bitter war with the Elder Things. However, in the end, the Elder Things emerge victorious. 450 million years ago, as the Elder Things rule supreme on Earth, they start to experiment on life forms and develop the first vertebrates, which are fish, and they are allowed to evolve.
Into what?
400 million years ago, the great race of Yith, fleeing catastrophe from their home world, transmit their minds to a race of cone-shaped creatures on Earth. They then drive the flying polyps underground and imprison them there. 370 million years ago, as the Elder Things allow the amphibians to evolve and arise on Earth, Chotnar, the horror elephant god, later creates the Miri Nigri from amphibian flesh as a servitor race. 350 million years ago, Cthulhu and his kin arrived from the star Zoth. The Elder Things then went to war with Cthulhu, but they eventually make peace. Cthulhu keeps his current surface territories, and the Elder Things keep the rest of the planet. And at the same time, the Deep Ones swear their allegiance to Cthulhu. 320 million years ago, reptiles arose around this time during the Carboniferous period. Yik, who is the father of serpents and a half-anthropomorphic Great Old One, was probably involved with the reptile evolution. 300.
Now this is the part. This is when they started being born. These reptiles and stuff like that.
Million years ago, a cosmic cataclysm which is possibly a certain configuration.
At least a certain form of them, you know.
Of the stars, possibly a war with the elder gods occurs, resulting in Arlie, the city of Cthulhu, sinking beneath the waves. Cthulhu is imprisoned within the city. In all likelihood, the other great old ones are imprisoned around the same time.
Yes.
200.
They all in prison and they all going to wake up. And this right here, this cataclysm right here, this cosmic cataclysm, guess what it was? It was our fall. It was us basically being like, oh, you know, we're the best and everything like that. And then it's like, oh, okay, you thought you were the best? Pat. Not anymore.
75 million years ago, serpent people arise and found the kingdom called Valusia. They had an advanced culture of science and sorcery,
here we are,
and are capable of impersonating any humanoid life form at will.
These are the Nagas, basically. These are us.
160 million years ago, the Migo, which are an extraterrestrial species from the planet Yugoth, or probably Pluto, they are winged creatures with large claws and heads covered in antennae. The Migo are a scientifically and technologically advanced race, and during that time they win a battle against the Elder Things above the planet Earth. 150 million years ago, The great race of Yith, which were serpents, foiled a Yukubian invasion attempt. The Yukubians are a race of worm creatures whom invade worlds and exchange their minds with those of the natives in a manner similar to the great race of Yith itself. 100 million years ago, the Elder Things built huge cities, both...
Alright, sorry about that, guys. It is a commercial, because, you know, fucking commercials. Alright, here we go.
And on dry land. They may be responsible for the appearance of the first life forms on Earth before, but at this time their technological advancements led them to their golden age. 65 million years ago, a huge meteor hit the Earth and the dinosaurs are wiped out. How this affected or is connected to the alien races on the planet is still unknown.
We did this. At the time. We killed the dinosaurs. Because it was the dinosaurs' time to be gone. Because what the dinosaurs... The truth reason... obviously, shout out to, Sirius Temple and other people that set this too. From... You know, mostly I heard it from Sirius Temple, but most likely probably people have talked about it too. But he talked about what is it, that we killed the dinosaurs. I hope I'm saying this right. That we killed the dinosaurs because they were what is it? They were the fertilizers for the planet. You know, and the fossil fuel that they said that they're using is not the dinosaurs. It's actually the blood of the planet.
$50 million years ago, another cataclysm strikes Earth, and in the crisis, the flying polyps escape and take revenge on the great race of Yith, which sends its greatest minds to bodies on the planet Jupiter. From Jupiter, the great race proceed to bodies similar to their earthly ones on a world orbiting a dark star on Taurus.
So most people are like, wait a minute. There were people back then with the dinosaurs were? Yes, that's why they had statues of people with not statues but like the walls had like graphing of like someone with a dinosaur basically. So
6 million years ago,
sorry of stuttering.
A member of a race of insect philosophers which hail from the fourth moon of Jupiter exchanges minds with one of the great race of Yith.
And this is where we get our insectoids.
5 million years ago, the serpent people of the city of Yoth, an underground kingdom below the present-day United States, flourishes at this time under the guidance of their god Yig. They even created serpent species like the savage humanoid Vurmis, but Yoth is destroyed by Yig when the serpent people turn to worship another god called Sathugwa. 3 million years ago, the savage...
He kind of looks like what is the Jabba the Hutt, right?
Humanoid Vurmis gain their freedom from the serpent people. They then create a kingdom on the surface of Hyperborea, a continent in the Arctic region, and they base on the worship of the great old one called Sathugwa.
And this is what the orcs wore. This is what they look like.
2 million years ago, as the Elder Thing civilization continues to decline, they retreat to their cities on the southernmost tip of South America and the Antarctic regions. 1.7 million years ago, Ithaqua, one of the great old ones, and who looks like a horrifying giant with a roughly human shape and glowing red eyes, appears in the northernmost regions of Earth, resulting in the decline of the population of the Vurmis. 1 million years ago, the Ice Age is brought about by the combined powers of the Ithaqua and the Alfumza, who is also a great old one similar to Cthulhu. The Vurmis civilization in Hyperborea is destroyed and then gradually replaced by humans, and they too suffered in the Ice Age.
Yeah, because these fucking orcs came down. Remember, I just told you that, hey, this is where the orcs came, and then a few, billion years happened, and then all of a sudden, these fucking guys came back and fucked some shit up, and then all of a sudden, the Earth, spin. Which is going back.
750,000 years ago, the great polar civilizations finally fall. The Elder Things retreat to deep within the Earth.
You see?
At the same time, the human civilization in Hyperborea splinters, and its surviving people scatter across the planet. 500,000 years ago.
It wasn't stopping. It just couldn't. It just kept going and going.
Homo sapiens or modern humanity arises. These earliest true humans found the kingdom of Nemesis and went to war for 1,000 years with the dragon kings. The humans win over the serpent people, and the exiled serpent people form a second kingdom of Valusia.
You hear that?
393,000 years ago. Lemuria, a hypothetical lost.
Now, most people are like, wait, wasn't that around the time that maybe what is it, Zeus created them and everything like that? Yes. The orcs basically like that. So who were the other ones? They were basically, I'll say they were orcs too. But from what I'm thinking now more than ever after looking at this, I probably was wrong with that. And I'm good thing I did this video so I can like look back and everything like that. So maybe the ones I did talk about, the orcs, maybe they were probably another race of beings that came here. Probably the ones that probably would call Bigfoot, because it does kind of look like a Bigfoot, right? So most people be like, oh, isn't Bigfoot basically what is it, a leftover species of what we grew up as quote unquote Homo sapiens? I don't know. If you know, let me know. So hold on, guys. Sorry about that.
Land, located in either the Indian Ocean or the Pacific Ocean, is shattered by volcanic eruptions, leaving only that which ultimately becomes Hyboria. Some survivors flee and found the first empire of Atlantis. 200,000 years ago, the human kingdom in Mu reaches its height. At this time, the people of Mu worship many dark gods, including Ghatanathoa, Ythoptha, and Zoth-Omok, all of which are great old ones and connected to Cthulhu. 50,000 BC, a race of great-headed brown people dominate southern Africa. One of their generals is among those who exchanged their minds with one of the great race of the Yithians. 24,000 BC, the city of the Golden Gates, the capital of the Second Kingdom of Atlantis, sinks beneath the waves as a result of dark magic. This event also devastates much of the Atlantean continent. 20,000 BC, at this time, many great countries have arisen in the barbaric Thurian continent. The survivors of Lemuria and Atlantis have degenerated into barbarians, and around this time the serpent people's Valusia was taken over by humans. 18,000 BC, a great cataclysm destroys the old world, bringing the Hyborian Age.
No, this right here, the Viking Age, basically, was around basically kind of like the age of them conquering us and shit.
And at this time, the Liliogur, which are vortices of living power, completely invisible except on occasions when they appear reptilian, came from Andromeda and settled in Lemuria and Mu. They then used humans as slaves. 10,000 BC. This was the time of Conan the Barbarian, and the Cimmerian barbarian tribes have wiped out the last serpent people in their Hyborian city called Yan-Yoga. It was also then that a final cataclysm destroys the Hyborian world and rises new landmasses, moving the world into more or less its modern configuration.
Right. This right here shows the process of us falling, basically, and then the planet reacting to it. She reacted every time we fell because of these motherfuckers, because of these indigenous people, these orcs. But then look, the Great Flood.
In later times, this event is remembered as the Great Flood. 5000 BC to 500 BC. The ancient kingdoms and civilizations that are known to most of humanity rise and fall. They include Egypt in northern Africa, Sumeria in the Middle East, the Indus civilizations in Pakistan and India, and also the Mayan civilizations in South America, and later ones like the Greek civilizations, the Romans, and so on.
See?
300 BC, the pigs, which have been around for almost...
Sorry about that.
About to meet the greatest warriors the world has ever known. I can shoot energy.
20,000 years are shattered into several smaller tribes that feud amongst themselves, which lead to their decline and loss of power. 200 BC, Teodotites, a Greco-Bactrian official, is among those that exchange their minds with one of the great race of the Yithians. Between 82 BC and 75 BC, during this time of the Roman dictator Sulla, a quaestor named Titus Sempronius Blasus is among one of those that exchange their minds with one of the great race of the Yithians. 0 BC till 2000 AD. This is the modern history of man and of course the rise and fall of countless human kingdoms, empires and states. Of course there was innumerable dabbling with witchcraft, summoning of the great old ones, and the occasional encounters with members of other species. However, modern humanity continued to thrive and forget the ancient past filled with gruesome horror and cosmic beings.
But they're fucking coming back, bitch.
2350 AD, Fatugwa, the king regent of the 5 vampires, appears as a great flickering ball of cold blue flame.
Look at
He
that
lives
plasma.
with his servants within an enormous edifice upon the surface of a blue comet, and his 5 vampires are due to arrive on Earth during this year. The far future, around 8 million AD, the time of Zotiku, the last continent of Earth, and home to the dying remnants of the human race. The culture is on a barbaric level, and magic has become dominant over science. 50 million AD, following the final end of humanity, a new race of beetle-like insects arise. These are possessed by the great race of the Yithians, leaving their previous home on a planet orbiting a dark star near Taurus.
Wow.
500 million AD.
So when all your orcs are gone, your homeland is literally gonna be taken over by insects. Yeah, man. Obviously, when this stuff happens, when you guys are still a barbarian and you're still using magic, because this is when everything goes back to normal. This is, this would be after my time. Okay? This is basically right now, what's happening right now, and this is after my time. Okay? This hasn't happened yet, but this is going to happen soon. Alright? And there's no even timelines or anything like that. So basically, this is happening right now as we speak. It's fucking amazing. It really is. Yo. Let's just go back.
The first primitive life develops on Venus. One Venusian is one among those that exchange their minds with the great race of the Yithians. And as you remember, the great race of the Yithians are the ones developed by the god Yig. And this is the last time that any creature from the solar system exchanges their mind with this great race. The further future, 1 billion AD, the last inhabitants of Earth, a species of arachnids, live within the interior of this dying world that orbits a red giant star the sun had become. The unknown future, Azathoth, the blind god, awakes from his slumber, and then the universe just ceases to be. And with that, we come to the end of the timeline. So be sure to subscribe for more monster videos, and do...
Most people are like, wait, what? I'm like, hey, you don't have to worry about it, because some of you guys won't be here, so I don't know why you guys are harping about it. Something you won't even be a part of, but all people will be, so let us worry about that. And we'll be fine. We are eternal, okay? The thing is, he's gonna go back to sleep eventually. So that's that. But what else I was gonna put? Something that I wanted to put from Bobby Hammond real quick. Oh wait, is this it? This is it. Actually, I put this one first.
Get out of this Judeo-Christian mentality of bowing down and praying and all that old bullshit. Key is this.
Oops, sorry, guys.
You got a lot of people in there searching. So you might drop something on them initially. If that person rejects it, that means that person is not supposed to get that. But there might be one or two people in there like, oh, I've been looking for this. And those people automatically, water always keeps us on level of green rise or too top. But the other people, you don't have to worry about them. So people in a certain doggone organization, and they got people that follow them, and they say, oh, this man is my master. Those people, if they wasn't in there, they would find some other master to follow. That means that different souls have different needs, and some people need to be a part of some shit. So everything seeks its own level, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, when it comes to you, there's supposed to be a group of people that they talk about in the last days. There's supposed to be a group of people that's supposed to get our people out of this shit. That means that the gods have returned, and we're those particular people. The ones that don't know it yet, you're supposed to be those particular people. That means they don't supposed to be based on what the niggas on the outside do. You see what I'm saying? I want to say one thing about the stretch on my mind, because this is the bullshit that the government is doing. Happening in Trenton, New Jersey. Up in Trenton, brother had they opened up a place called a university. Immediately after they opened up, a year later, all these youth start getting killed, shot in the head. So immediately people from Trenton started running to the university, and the university got into all this real political things, fighting the city officials and all this about all these black people getting killed. And immediately I said, I guarantee you that the time when these deaths occurred was the same time when you all started getting power. And I said, the government automatically knows that they can all, because they already said in Quantico, Virginia, in behavioral science, that you are an emotional people, not an intellectual people or analytical people, or emotional people. So they already know that they can come up in this baby and do something to you and get you off your game. I said, look, you are a priesthood. There's got to be a time when you got to make a break from the bullshit out in the community to help the community. I said, so you got to let them motherfucking niggas cut them loose. Bible says, don't cast pearls to swine. I said, because them niggas is running up in here now and they don't give a damn about nothing coming to the Afro-Central to their ass get in trouble. Then they got to go look for some black constituency to help them fight some old doggone local cause. You see what I'm saying? And you all going running because it's the ego thing. And the government automatically knows they can keep you fighting. I say, so if you notice, you don't hear shit about them Obama with the Jews up in New York. You see them little funny people walking around with them black suits on and all that kind of thing. But you don't know shit they do. And when you see major things go in New York and all, you don't ever see them. There's got to be a certain priesthood that don't get into the bullseye. I said, there's enough black activists out here. Let Reverend Buffon and Al Sharpton and all them come and handle that stuff. But there's got to be a group of people that tend to business because that's what the government is going to do to get you off your game. Every nigga gets drugged down the street behind some so-called black community to go running. And I say what it is that's a government plan now. Every time they want to get you from the spiritual shit to break your spiritual energy, they going to juke some nigga up their ass.
Right.
And they automatically know that you're going to come running. And it breaks the whole system. They got to be some people that's an army that's on game. Now, you got enough people out here that's going to do that. Let the rest of the country, 30, 40 million or 20 million what's left, do that. But it's got to be a group of people that stay focused on some stuff. And you don't need to fall for the bullshit because they're not looking for the angles. They're looking for those spiritual elements because they don't feel nothing but the spirit realm. They don't feel no niggas in no damn black suit, talking about no Black Panthers. That's yesterday. And Black Panthers and all that made an effect of psychological change for people in the city because we needed that. We needed a person to stand up and show some doggone backbone after years of being shut out. But then again, on the other hand, we don't necessarily need that now because it's old news. You can't, come on, get the hell out of here. This damn government here. These niggas can, like I say, anytime they can drop a bomb in the house and kill everybody in the house and leave the house standing and move right in the next day. We're talking about another level. They don't feel nothing but the spiritual level. That's it. So the key is you got to have a certain amount of people as priests and get into their own thing, and you can't be subject to all this shit out here in the black community. Because now a lot of that stuff is going on. It's not because of black people creating it. It's because of the government creating it. And until you learn that, you understand what I'm saying? You will never have something new for your ass every month.
Right.
All the brothers out there, look, let's keep that shit out. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep educating. Keep that shit. But all the niggas out in the neighborhood knocking on your door, come on, this is the black place, and you do say, fuck all y'all. You gotta start doing that. Because it's not mean spirited. You understand where I'm coming from? It's not a matter of being mean spirited. It's a matter of being advanced so you can eventually help everybody. You understand what I'm saying? Until you build a force, you can't let the man come in and keep tearing down the house and you ain't got the damn foundation built yet. You understand where I'm coming from? So a lot of that type of stuff, now the government uses that and he feeds that system. So he'll sugar man, come on now, let's think about this for a minute. Here goes man go to jail. Now they got a policy. Anybody goes to jail, the government can kill you and you can't say shit about it. Let's say he grabbed the gun out by the holster and we had to shoot him. And there ain't nothing you can do. So for the mere fact that they let the Lou Reamer man out on the street, let you know it was a setup from the get-go. Everything is a setup now. They don't broadcast real shit no more. Kenya, Monica Lewinsky, everything now is, you live in an age where everything is a soap opera. They sit down and they plan this shit years in advance. They put on a nigga ass. Including certain niggas to get caught up and get their ass beat and stuff. You know, black activists and all that kind of thing. That's all a part of the game. You gotta understand. This was a worldwide conspiracy. They don't deal with no petty stuff. Everything is sent out. It's thrown out. Get one coming from here. You gotta be smarter than that. You see, you gotta be smarter than this whole thing. The man that got drugged down the street in Texas, that's all a setup. You understand what I'm saying? That's all a doggone setup. Everything in this country is planned out. So therefore, you gotta get above the physical behavior because you'll be doing this for years and they already know it. And they pimping everybody. You see what I'm saying? They pimping dogs on everybody, including them damn marches. All the fucking marches that you just went through is government. Shut up by the damn government. Bottom line. That's all that was. To count, you stand up and be counted. They needed to count people because the 1990 census was no good. So in order to get a count, they couldn't track black men between the ages of 18 and those on 27. They couldn't count them, so they had to call them to DC and register everybody to stand up to be counted. Same thing with the woman and the dog on you. It's a counting shit, so that they can find out who's what and what kind of mind. They don't want to know dumbass people. They want to register the conscious people. They know you're gonna be there.
Right.
And on TV. So therefore, they get a list of all the damn niggas and stuff because they clone it, and so they can make duplicates and send you back out there. One day you a conscious brother, the next day you selling some fucking barbecue sauce, fucking reels and all kind of stuff. On cover girl commercials, easy cover girl. This is all the fun. Dancing shit for the president. All that stuff is set up. So stand up and be counted. So let's go to live and get you some science.
Alright, what was the other one? Alright, this one. Wait. Yes, this one. Listen.
You meet up with your higher self. Your higher self, let me explain this. Your higher self is called the Necronomicon. Now, I don't want you to be disturbed when you hear this stuff, because what happened was this. On 12/12/94, a doorway opened, which means 144, which means what? 144, which is the number of the apocalypse. You see, on 12/12/94, this doorway opened up. When this doorway opened up, what had happened is, you need to go see the movie Superman 2. Put it all in the movies for you. Remember, supposed to have been 3 people that was rowdy, and you got these placed in a glass. Right? It was all wearing black. And it was locked out in a glass and blew it up, and the glass shattered, and they came to Earth, and the only thing was living on Earth was civilized, basically, was white people. Because we supposed to be dead. So they said, these people here in spirit, we can move over them. See what I'm saying? And they were running hell until somebody like them was fighting with them, a sellout nigga, Superman. Now, picture them as black. So everything they put in the movie, they study the science of the occult.
Sorry for that.
Superman. Now, picture them as black. So everything they put in the movie, they study the science of the occult, which only do that with the hidden from you.
Right.
Now, let me explain what's getting ready to go on. On 12/12, the Necronomicon is called the Great Old One, or the Ancient One. That used to be you before you fell into the physical and went to sleep. Your higher self was locked out of the time zone. They trying to get back to you. On 12/12, a gateway opened up, and as a result, this gateway is open, which now these Necronomicons can come through. That's not what your higher self get ready to go with you. See what I'm saying? Now, the great old ones were invaders from space from other dimensions, and worlds and other worlds. They once ruled the earth. That's you. That's what you. And was vanquished and expelled by a cosmic force. That was the great brotherhood. Giving the children a butt spanking.
Oh.
They all act right. We're gonna put you down there, and we messed up again, messed up. It's an experiment, messed up.
Right.
And created reasons, all this kind of stuff. Like I said, don't worry, you're gonna learn from your mistakes, and then one day you'll raise back up to God. Your higher selves are separated from the gold, separated from you. That's the great old one, your higher self. And in some cases, they were merely imprisoned like Cthulhu of the Funkin city of Remake, the underworld. As we go into this event, this mental period, this particular period, you go into the underworld. This particular underworld we're in right now. This gateway you see, these Necronomicons are waiting to meet up with you. See what I'm saying? Now, the key to this thing is, that's nothing but your higher self, but what had happened was this. What had happened was this. I'm going to show you something. This thing is supposed to meet up with you, and what happens is, even though you have gone through these certain periods, now, what happened with the dates is the dates are off. You need to follow things with the cycle of the sun. The winter solstice, the spring solstice, the summer solstice, and all these. The spring solstice, the white boy knew the reason why he got to start locking you down in concentration camp, because he understands that you just like the animals, you hibernate in the winter time. And when the spring, you're going to start opening up. And based on the spring equinox, what's going to happen once the sun goes into Easter, the first way for you to get the consciousness will start coming into those higher selves. You're going to start going into some spiritual things, like fever, burn off the mucus, and set the pineal of the pituitary area right. Now, since birth, you had two guardian angels with you. Now, there's a lot of frustration going on among us. Everybody feels a little frustrated now. Some days you feel like you're all alone, you feel frustrated. The things you're going through psychologically. That is because the guardian angels that used to be with you, the two was with you all your life, they are now in transition. They have now stepped back and they left you out there alone and you're waiting for your higher self to come in. You see what I'm saying? Which makes you into God. You see? Higher self will start coming in as the sun starts climbing towards the Easter equinox. Some of your higher selves will start coming in around Easter, around April, and the spring solstice. Now, based on every African, you have your African New Year every July 23rd. And based on July 23rd, you have the rising of spirit. The masses of the people will start going through their climb of their transformation. The mass will be doing on July 23rd. Some of the people in consciousness will start doing it in the East. Now, what's happening is a great stargate is getting ready to open up. But the message to the stargate is on the inside of your head. You see what I'm saying? That's the stargate. So as the sun starts going into another cycle, you are going to start to open up because you are one of what you call the Holy Grail, the royal blood. The bringer of the Holy Grail is a dot that may therefore be energized, and the offerings of terrestrial alien race of humans that chant in communion, in communication with the God, or the royal bloodline of the black race. Now, what it means is that the bearer of the grail descends from the great one, which embodies a type of blood royal or royal blood. The bearer of the Holy Grail, the black dot, is depicted on the tarot card, and therefore on the tarot card may therefore be identified as the bringer to earth, the blood or the royal blood, or the blood which flows in the veins of the kingly man. The kingly man or the black man or the black woman, a transhuman intelligence, which means you go beyond what you know of right now. You see what I'm saying? Now, this particular royal blood is the chosen seed of Israel and the seed of the stars, or the doorway, or the gateway. The bee and the beetle are the zootypes of the black race, descended from the space destined to supersede the human physical cycle of evolution. Okay, it says that it all started from a fall. This particular fall that you fell in this particular fall. It should be remembered that the function of the grail or the black dot is to contain the holy bloodline of the royal blood, of the real true blood of not a human origin. It is depicted as the myth, as the connection of the royal blood of the ancient one or the great old one identified with divinity. Now, what it means is, what's getting ready to happen is, based on the first part of you are getting ready, once the sun hits, you're going to go through this Stargate. The Stargate is inside of you. These Necronomicons are going to come back. When you see Ghostbuster 1, you see these little spooky type things that were going up and they were killing everybody.
Listen up.
They were killing. What's getting ready to happen is this. Once this thing comes back, and it starts, and this particular part comes back, and it's connected to your higher self, he won't even be able to kill you. Now, the movie you need to go see to explain that is the movie The Crow.
The Crow.
The movie The Crow. If anybody see The Crow, you'll know what I'm talking about. Go read the movie The Crow, and that's the kind of juice you get ready to have. Now, The Crow is the story of a black Christ. They had the white boy. The Crow is the story of the black Christ. The black Christ stood of the god Cthulhu. Cthulhu is one of the Necronomicon. His name is Cthulhu. The black crow, or the Necronomicon myth. The black melanated one, or carbon one, returning to revenge the black Christ. It is interesting to note that the movie was released in 1994, the last year, you see what I'm saying, of the millennium, which was actually 1999. It shows the Christ of the highest spirit literally can't die and got revenge. The movie is an explanation of the return of the great one in the Necronomicon Cthulhu. Now, if anybody saw the movie, these white people, you know it's done by Brandon Lee. He died on 20 years after his father died. His father died in 1973. He died in 1992. Chinese Mafia or whatever. Go see the movie Dragon. It was all hooked up. They told them not to give out the secret to the West. Bruce Lee.
Chinese Dragon tells all with Bruce Lee. That's why they killed him for it.
Now, in the movie, they broke in his house to kill his wife and kill him. But he came back, rose from the dead, and had a crow inside him. You see some of these Egyptians, you're going to see that they got a bird in the back of them. That bird represents the spirit. And they were shooting him up, stabbing him, and his bullets disappeared. They shot him up with about 400 bullets. He fell on the ground and came back up and killed a whole room full of people. But there was an Asian girl up in there. She said, y'all shooting him. She said, y'all need to kill the bird. Because the spirit is in the book. See, the Asian woman represented somebody who can fight. So nobody is possessed with the higher self, you will actually be able to live in the physical and the spiritual. And what's getting ready to happen is fire to shoot all day long. You just regenerate. It's basically what you see on the Superman movies and all these movies.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like Terminator 2. Not the one, the old one, the one that Nick transformed back in. Yeah. They getting all that stuff from your stuff. See what I'm saying? That's what's going down with this crow thing. The crow is called a blackbird soot, and soot is one of the original names for the god. It means the black one. You see, it's the black one soot. You see. Now, in this particular, these two symbols I showed you, this particular part of where you are now, you're going like keep. This particular thing, when you cross over, you're going to the Necronomicon. That's the god that's on the other side of the threshold. But there's a guardian on the threshold that's going to eat the lower half to get you ready for the higher half. Just the white people call that the devil because when they eat in and kill them, once they eat the lower half, they ain't never go in.
Boom. One more before we go.
If you are a Titan spirit or a Cthulhu spirit or a spirit from the chaos, and you living in a world that is totally opposite from you, that is your prison house is keeping you down. You understand what I'm saying? And your spirit is totally opposite from this spirit, from this world. So to love in this world, it means that you love this world and it's totally opposite from you. To hate in this world, which means that you're not really hating in your world, you're just hating this world because this world is alien to you. You see what I'm saying? So it depends on what you talk about love. To hate is good. Now, we are a loving people by nature. God knows we proved that just living here with the white man. And ain't killed that motherfucker yet.
Right.
Or got killed trying to kill his ass. So if your nature is that of love, you understand what I'm saying? Then in actuality, you must hate. To hate means to be right because you would hate injustice. You would hate that which is evil. So to tell you to love is to hate yourself. You understand where I'm coming from? So they telling you to love, love, love. And that's the new shit. Love, love, love. That's what Christianity is saying. Love, not on a sensible way, but love like a motherfucking wife is getting her ass whipped by a nigga each damn night.
Right.
And just love the insane way.
Right.
So, what you must do is you must hate, because that's lining up the true nature. We're going to go in that tomorrow on what we're talking about here, on that particular hate. Now, the word Satan means the totally opposite of this particular world and this particular nature. Well, I just gave you the thing I told you at the beginning of the lecture, that we were a chaos and cosmic being that was totally opposite, and we fell into this particular realm, which is totally opposite from us. So Satan has got to be that which is opposite from this, which is our true nature. So therefore, to deal with a positive direction in this world means you are dealing negatively with your nature. To deal negative in this world means you're dealing positively, or positive with your nature, since your nature is opposite from this world. So they say the word Satan means accursor. It means adversary. It means something that is totally opposite from nature. Nature in this particular world was made from a subordinate deity. So that which is opposite from this world is the Most High God. So you must hate. When you look at black people, you are not looking at the true essence of black people, which is inside. You're looking at the physical creation of black people. So to love black people is wrong. You must start hating black people, not for what they could be, but for what they are not. You got to turn everything around here to get the alchemy of the melanin to work to illuminate. You getting this? You got to take everything and make it. They say, what did they say when you first got into consciousness? I don't give a damn what. You first got into consciousness, they say we were 180 degrees from the truth. and from self. We are far from the self as a hog from the moon. So that means that in actuality you got to reverse everything.
Reverse everything. Oh, one more.
That there used to be another primordial entity that somehow thrust into a new reality of physical existence, and that primordial entity woke up one day and found itself to be human and having a human experience in a new situation that is totally different than the prior situation of the divine, and to put it in so many words, the prior situation of being God. Omnipotent beings. That's a hell of a information and a blueprint to start off with that would make you superior in a sense that you know that you were these advanced beings that one day was shifted into a new paradigm of human existence. And number two, they had to live out this human existence of several eons only to come to the final solution or the final metamorphosis or manifestation back into the original aspect, but not necessarily the same. It's the concept of a caterpillar going into a cocoon and becoming a butterfly.
Right.
The caterpillar was the original larva of creation. The human is the cocoon stage of something that is not finished.
That's right,
I don't care how much of human civilization we go through. It is always in the process of becoming the butterfly, which is a metamorphosized caterpillar, God, cocoon stage human. Butterfly represents the finished product. It means that humanity is never going to be the final stage. We can never go back to kindergarten.
Nope.
No matter how advanced we thought it was.
Right.
We have to become something new. This is fundamental and central to all world mythology and all world religion. Christianity, we call it the Christ. That is a metamorphosis. In ancient Egypt, the central royal art, or what you would call the highest mystery that goes beyond worshiping the gods, the highest mystery was what these gods were composed of. What were the energies? What is this energy, this substance, these compounds,
That's what I have.
these elixirs that later day mythology calls the gods?
3,
What is this for?
4.
And that's where the royal art of ancient Egypt, which is the highest form of any spiritual science on the planet, is that of alchemy.
Yep. Which is from the mind
The
also.
study of the breakdown of the particles in the universe and the particles in man. As above,
So below. And that's about it. So I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and be safe.